Hey, Brandy. Brandy offers, and then Latin dance fusion is also a program that we offer. Once again, we're always looking for new programs and classes to offer to our patrons. These are done seasonally, fall, winter, spring, and summer. They're typically anywhere between 7 to 10 weeks, once or twice a week. But once again, it's a great time for us to build community. And that's my goal and our team's goal and vision is building community. I call Riverbank the backyard of Harlem. Many of us don't have big houses. Some of us do have brownstones, but we live in cramped spaces. We live in apartments, but we have a 28-acre backyard that I want everyone to feel like is home. We have an aquatic center. We have a athletic center. We have a cultural center, and we also have a skating rink. Many of you know that as well. And I got to shout out maintenance because they make sure the facility runs. They have their own building. And then we have the greenhouse. And I'm going to pass the mic off to Mallory soon. Just want to touch on a couple other things. So as far as upcoming programs, and this information will be sent to the dissemination committee. So you'll all get flyers for these events. But just to kind of show you some of the public programming that we offer. We just had a chess tournament this past Sunday for youth. It was 8 to 4 o'clock. We have a senior social coming up on the 15th, the day after Valentine's Day, with a group called Jamaica Rebirth. We have a movie night for Black History Month. As we know, we're in the Black History Month in February. Black Panther will be showing on the 16th. Live on the Hudson is our karaoke and live performance. We don't do Apollo. We don't boo anyone. There's no and stuff. But it's really engaging. You have a lot of people coming up, doing karaoke, having a great time. So that's phenomenal. That's the 17th. And then we have a presentation that we saw a snippet of during the town hall, the Harlem Arts Alliance town hall. It's called The Meeting. And it's a fictional presentation of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King discussing their approach to civil rights. And obviously they agreed to disagree, but it's just inspiring to see two people talk about so passionately what it means to try to support and try to make sure the human and civil rights agenda is pushed forward. And that presentation is happening on the 24th of February, which is a Saturday from 5 to 9. And then we have Art in the Park, which is great and phenomenal for kids and families on the 25th. And then tomorrow's Artist Workshop, where we have public plays, we have public shows, we do arts and craft with kids. So just so you understand the range of what we offer for people of all ages, we want to really kind of nurture this spirit of community. And I know MCB9, we've met with you over the last couple of weeks, and it's almost like we're family, like we've known each other for years. So we look forward to continuing to grow that. I know this is our first meeting, or at least my first meeting, and I hope it will be the first of many. But we have a lot of good things going on. I will ask you to be patient with us because once you introduce this, the floodgates open and people reach out. We are working to build our staff. We've lost 1 or 2 members from our culture department to retirement. And we have a couple of vacancies. So those will also be shared. If there are any people who want to apply for those positions, we will communicate that as well. So we will continue to make sure that we get information to you. Please reach out. We will let you know how quickly we can move, if we can support. Some things can happen in the immediate. Some things may take a little bit more time, but know that we are working in the best interest of the community. Community Board 9 and Arts and Culture specifically as it relates to the Culture Department at Denny Farrell River Bay State Park. With that said, I'm going to pass the mic over to Mallory, who runs one of the hidden gems. A lot of you don't see it because the greenhouse is enclosed, but it is right next to the maintenance building. So a lot of people mistake it for being part of the maintenance building. But some of the people here, Mr. Alexander, Tina, Daria can attest to the fact that it's probably one of the most serene spaces probably in all of Harlem. It's amazing. Obviously, when you have plant life there, you have a lot of oxygen. There's so many things going on. Mallory will tell you more about that. The one thing I will say is that we also have a community garden, which Mallory doesn't manage. That's something that's managed by the Culture Department at Denny Farrell. We are in the 2nd year of our lottery, so we are not opening up any plots this year. The next lottery will be in the February of 2025. But I know a lot of people are on the waiting list and are lining up. So this year, it opens up April through November 30th. So you will not qualify because the lottery is in its 2nd year, just like a 2-year term for the community board. 2 years? How many years? 2 year term. So similar to the 2-year term, But February in 2025, we will open up the lottery again for anyone who is interested in getting a community plot in our community garden. But that is also a special place, once again, where community comes together and you have tons of people doing amazing things in the garden. With that said, Mallory, I will actually, do we want to take questions now and then pass the mic to Mallory, or let her?
Whatever works for you.
Mallory, I'll let you go because I don't know how much time you have tonight. I don't want to have you on too long. Both Mallory and I are on our days off, Sunday and Monday, our weekends. We don't want any sympathy. This is to us. But I do want to make sure Mallory can enjoy the rest of her day off. But with that said,
You wanted to take, oh, is that what you were asking?
That's very kind, but I think Jenny, I think Jared,
Connie.
you're all in plant world. If there is a question, I'm happy to wait.
okay, perfect.
Why every 2 years for the plots? What if people wanna, get involved, and they have to wait 2 years, they cannot lose their spirit.
Because there was a huge demand for it, and you want to give people enough time to really enjoy it. So 1 year, obviously, is, some people are first timers and they want to get a handle on it. We don't necessarily go to the more experienced people. We go, it's an open lottery. So we want to give people, ample time to really get their feet underneath them and develop that and grow that green thumb. So 2 years we thought was.
But if it's highly sought out, wouldn't 2 years, defeat the purpose of it?
No, because like I said, some people need the time to really develop and really curate, their space. So that was the time that we felt, made the most sense. Prior to that, it was on it wasn't a lottery situation. So we introduced that to make sure that we were being a little bit more democratic process. So, like I said, we're always open to feedback and surveying our patrons. So if we feel that something else is necessary, we can
I
certainly
tried
consider
to
that.
plant an apple tree, and it was the most difficult thing to do. Even if you try to do it in a public place, the more you come and completely crush it.
Since the who will come?
The lawnmower,
You tried to do it at a park or something?
At all?
I tried open places and different places, but the lawnmower that comes from the parks department just freezes through everything.
At Riverbend?
Everywhere. And
No, our space is enclosed. We have dedicated plots. We don't have.
so what I'm saying
You
is,
take
it
another,
was very difficult to do it anywhere.
we're gonna have to
I was the
move
only place that was
on.
able to.
Gotcha.
I'm sorry, Connie,
I have a quick question because we're interested in the theater that you were talking about, the cultural building, the 800. Yeah. So I'm seeing right now the park use permit. Would that be the first stop to request the permit, or is there another process to request of the that space?
No, that's a good question. The first step is just to send a letter of request detailing what you want to do and what space you want to occupy or permit. So basically just giving us it's almost like a proposal or a letter of request, is kind of detailing everything. We'll take a look at that and then get back to you and we'll have further discussion. You can send that to, I can give you my email address, Jared, Jared, .leak, LEAKE, at parks.ny.gov, G-O-V. Jared.leak at parks.ny.gov. You can send it to my attention. I'll review it and I will get back to you and we'll schedule some time to discuss your request.
and I apologize, but y'all just heard that recording just go off, which means that if you put your information in before, it did not get in the recording, so please put your information in the chat one more time.
Thank you, Yanni.
Mallory,
Yes, thank you. And thank you so much for having me at the meeting and Jared for the intro. I'm gonna come back time after time now that I know what this meeting is. There's so many notes from the notes that I'm taking. This is a really fantastic community board meeting, having gone to a few, but thank you. Yeah, and so I should tell you I work closely with Jared over at Riverbank State Park, but I'm actually in partnership. So my employer, I work through the Horticultural Society of New York, or you might know that as the Hort, and the Hort actually partners with Riverbank State Park. And so that's just good to know. So when I chat with you about things that are going on over at the greenhouse and learning garden, It's through, working at the Hort, and basically what that means is that I'm looking to program the greenhouse and our learning garden. So Jared mentioned the community garden, and actually if you see the space that's like, across from the track, if you've been there, there's like a space where it's like plots on plots, and that is the community garden, but there are 13 beds that are committed to a learning garden. And I like to share that with folks because for folks who don't have a garden plot, there's place for you at the learning garden. We do collective harvest a lot. We do, we're going to be having our seed celebration in the spring. I'm getting ahead of myself, but so yeah, what we're talking about is the greenhouse, kitchen, classroom, and the learning garden. And so when I'm sharing about programming there, I'm really talking about through the lens of plant and people. And I feel like I'm talking to a room of brilliant artists who know that art is often the way to foster that connection. So we're really looking for like connections and to provide resources and to like spin off crazy ideas in any way that plant and people connect. And so what that looks like for us is, having field trips on Thursdays and Fridays. And this community board, actually all schools within this community board get free field trip to the greenhouse. So again, I'll leave my, I actually was trying to format what I was leaving, so I left this a little bit as Jared was talking. My apologies, but I just dropped a few more of the information now, and now I'm leaving my email again, just so you have it. Okay. And now that that's out of the way, I can talk a little bit about what we're doing. So yes, we have free field trips to schools in this community board. And it's not like if you're also an organization working with young people, we can figure out what that looks like as well. We also have an internship for young people, which meets on Fridays. We're going to be recruiting for the spring, actually, our cohort. And yeah, the whole why I'm bringing this to this meeting is actually like we study horticulture. So like the culture of plants, and that always in the greenhouse, we're thinking about kind of several themes. One is like gardening and farming and like kind of seeding green futures. And the second is food and how we eat. And then, the third is art and storytelling. And so we do that through, field trips, internships, and what I really want to highlight for you all, because it's a way to engage, I think, with a lot of the folks here, is some of our public programs. And we have, you'll see that first link that I dropped is the first and the second is kind of a listing of all our free drop-in public programs. And one that I want to highlight for you particularly. So Tuesdays are food day. We do lots of cooking. We work with CSAs during the spring and summer. And we invite, food workers of all kinds. So sometimes we just actually invited Kim Kaban is an artist who is actually also a chef, and she was working with plantains. And so she led us on this like really beautiful, nostalgic recipe creation with plantains. And that was our Tuesday morning, Tuesday at 11, come by if you want some food. Wednesday, we do healing arts, and it's recipes and rituals for collective care. And that's always inviting us to either explore like somatic practices, or sometimes it's meditation, or sometimes it's, we have a lot of herbalism classes at that time. And on Thursdays is our full art day. So we have two, again, free drop-in classes, intergenerational at 5 p.m. We have Art in the Garden, which is basically inviting us to think about art and plants. So as you can imagine, the inspiration source is such that it can go anywhere. And then Thursday, the class that I really is my baby and that I love is the art and agriculture class. And we look to the words of Karen Washington, who asks that, or who kind of makes the call to consider like, where's the culture in our agricultural system? Just to give you a little, we invite facilitators. And again, that's why that is the third link that I sent you, the call for facilitators. And we prioritize Harlem-based artists or food workers or healing practitioners to bring their practice to the greenhouse. And we're able to offer an honorarium for a 1-hour class. We take care of all supplies and set up so that what we practice at the greenhouse, it's a small but mighty team, is like from Adrienne Marie Brown's emergent strategy, less prep, more presence for the facilitator. So it's really important that we're like cultivating community with one another and that the facilitator is able to come to the space and really focus on sharing, you know, what they're called to share. And so that's on our end, that we kind of prep everything beforehand. And what that takes is obviously this call for facilitators. We have kind of a programming team over at the Hort that kind of each season, we're gearing up for our spring season actually, and we'll be announcing that by the end of February, but we still have some open spots if you know artists or facilitators of any kind, again, food workers, artists, healing practitioners, encourage them to fill out that open call, and then we'll have a meeting and we can chat about what it looks like, a site visit, a studio visit, what have you. So just to give you a little bit, would love to have you all at the greenhouse just so you can see the space. Again, it's a working greenhouse, so we're going to be pretty soon, all the plant benches are going to be filled with seeding. We have a seed celebration coming up. We're going to be doing a seed ceremony and singing to the seeds. We're also going to be creating artwork for seed packets. We have a seed library. We have seed trays and seed giveaways and plant giveaways often. And we'll be doing that again in March is when our seed celebration is. But yeah, to give you just some, if you just rock up on this week, you will see that Wednesday we have kind of a creative expression healing workshop through sensory alchemy taught by Olori Vibes on Wednesday. Thursday, I believe Jaleesa Yancey, who I know has worked with some organizations and folks here, is going to, she did indigo dyeing last week. She's going to be working with tea pigments this week. We also have Kim Kaban is going to, oh, thank you. Okay. Yeah, but just go to the events, and if you have any questions, please reach out. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Were there any questions?
I have a comment. Thank you both for coming, number one. And since, you know, we had the walkthrough, you had groups from just about all the MCB9, so I would love for you to come this week at the senior, both of you. Hort came before when we were at George Bruce, but I would love for you to come back again. But since you have the senior thing every month. Tomorrow is our meeting, but it's probably too soon for y'all. But our meeting is on the Tuesday on your on day, Tuesday at 11 o'clock. I'll get some information. But thank you for a great presentation. So a lot.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So much
Great
good
stuff.
stuff. And so many resources. And spaces, y'all. Space.
The people, we got a lot of people coming to that park.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. So we're going to move on to our presentations. I ask, we say 10 minutes when we're over. We ask if you can keep it to 7. That would be helpful. Our first presentation will be Harlem Stage, Jordan Carter.
Thank you very much. I am here representing Harlem Stage. I am the Education and Community Engagement Manager, and I am going to keep it pretty brief right now. I would like to share first that Harlem Stage is in our 40th anniversary season. And I'd like to also share that we're having a couple of upcoming performances on February 16th. We're presenting Silver Through the Grass, Like Nothing, a work in progress show by Unia, Edie Kwan, and Even in the Shadow of a Retching Fog. It's a world premiere of a new work by Sun Han Guild. And as part of our Uptown Nights music series, we're collaborating with the Sugar Hill Salon, another Harlem-based organization, and one of the first chamber music series and artist collectives that centers Black and Brown woodwind artistry and classical music. And we're featuring Alexander Davis of bassoonist, David Valbuena, clarinetist, and Adam Sadberry, flute. Also, as education and community engagement manager, I oversee a multitude of programs and teaching artists that go and present after school arts programming all across Manhattan. We have quite a few partners, some that in our area that you may know. PSMS 161 is basically connected to Harlem Stage. We're located at 150 Convent Avenue. I don't know if some of you all may have walked past. It's a castle looking type of building. Some people don't know what's going on in there or anything like that, but it's a performing arts center. And yes, we do have cool stuff going on. So anytime you're around Convent Ave, pull up on us. So also going back, we've recently started residencies this week and the past week, dance residencies after school at A. Philip Randolph High School, as well as the Wadley School, and as I mentioned, PSMS 161. We have a multitude of dance styles offered, including hip hop, West Indian, West African, Desi, Latin Caribbean, Latin American, Sisters Only Step, United Brothers Step, modern dance, and K-pop dance. We also offer group violin lessons and music production lessons with a DJ and critically acclaimed, booked and busy music producer in the industry. So pretty much that is all that I have to share right now. I share what we have going on in our education and engagement department. I share what we have going on in regards to our programming. We are actively seeking new connections with specifically senior organizations. We have a multitude of teaching artists that would love to come and offer programming at low cost. Excuse me, I'm at home. Hold on, I gotta tell the dog to be quiet.
You're on mute. He was talking to his dog.
Oh, I had to scream at the dog right quick. My bad. I didn't want everybody to hear me screaming in the apartment. Nonetheless, yes, we are actively looking to work with senior organizations with and just reaching out to the older community and offering programming tickets to shows. And like I also said, dance,
Can you
instrument.
take questions?
Yes,
Does
absolutely.
anybody have questions for, because, well, first thing I want to ask is, have you met our co-chairs for our senior action committee? Because we have them both right here.
It's great to meet you all. Hello.
They're both right here, so I would love for you to meet them. Can one of y'all,
What?
are either of you signed on the?
I did, but I came out of it.
Well, did you see the agenda? And I told you that the contacts were in bold, Jordan.
I did not see the agenda.
Okay, what's your
I had it
email
on my
address?
screen.
Okay, Jordan,
Need something sent to me?
Take the, no, I just want to give him one of your contacts, so.
Jordan, can you hear me?
Yes,
Oh, I can hear you, okay. XALEX 111 at Gmail.
XALEX111 @gmail.
Yes, that's Walter T. Alexander. Did I say it too fast?
It's
No, I'm
X,
trying to hear over the dog. My apologies. So
X Alex 111, X Alex 111.
I got it. XAlex111
Yes,
Yeah.
and leave me your information too, and I'll get back to you, then we'll let you come speak.
Excellent.
And you can share it with Carl too, right? Yeah, because we got both the co-chairs. We got them all. Were there any more questions for Harlem Sage? Okay, thank you so much, Jordan.
Thank you.
Daria, a quick question, if I may.
Yes,
Jordan, good to meet you. This is Victor Edwards, Chair of the Board. I was just trying to find out what type of outreach do you do to the community centers, or NYCHA community centers in our area, Manhattanville and Grant houses in particular, and 3333. They have a large number of young people there. I've been to Harlem Stage many times, really enjoy myself, the music they have there. But I was just wondering, what outreach do you have for young people to engage them?
Well, as I mentioned, we have a multitude of dance teaching artists as well as instrumental teaching artists that go into schools and community centers and can also engage NYCHA housing organizations, and we just have not tapped into that community yet. So if you have a connection for that,
I do.
for me to make that happen, please send it my way.
Okay, I will send you our Youth Education and Libraries contact, also the Tenant Association President for Grant, Manhattanville, and 3333. I'll send that to you so you can reach out.
Excellent. I really appreciate it.
Okay, thank you, man. Appreciate you.
and Victor, they do great work in the schools. They actually had I don't remember what panel they asked me to sit in on, but some of the students were actually in the panel and they engaged them like greatly. So
Excellent.
they're doing great work in the schools.
Excellent. Okay, thank you.
So our next presentation, thank you very much, Jordan. Our
Thank
next
you.
presentation is Harlem Swing Dance Society. Is Barbara here? Okay, Barbara's not here. So our next presentation is Sisters in Sharkey. It's Sharkey?
Yes.
Brandy?
Yes, it
Sisters in
is.
Sharkey, Brandy Hayward.
Hi, everybody. This is a good segue to explain what Sisters in Sharkey is, and obviously our we go by SIS, or Sisters in Sharkey. For Sisters in Sharkey is our little acronym. Sharkey is the Arabic word for the East, and we it's really what it is to the best way to describe it would be belly dance. And I know that sounds like a really vain pursuit, belly and dance, but really the way we approach it is it is still very much African dance, North African dance. So Morocco, Tunisia, the dances of Morocco, Tunisia, Egypt. That's what I teach throughout Harlem, with Riverbank being one of the places where I teach. Also, I teach a little bit further uptown, but I just wanted to focus on what we're doing at Riverbank right now. I teach Thursday nights at Riverbank, and we also have an annual event, our culminating event every year. We've done it all over Harlem, but the last 3 years we have done it at Riverbank State Park using their wonderful auditorium. Harlem Hafla. Hafla is an Arabic word for a celebration or a party. And we put a hafla right in Harlem, and its history is the 20 or so years that I've spent in belly dance. You see very few people of color here in America involved in it, when ironically we're the ones who created it in Africa. So to get us re-involved, what I do is I go around the city when I'm done with my day job and just give workshops and clinics and just little events. And what I do is I get some of the best dancers of color, belly dancers of color, and people who do what I call sister dances, such as flamenco or West African. We'll just have 1 or 2 of those as well. And we put together a day of education as well as entertainment. So in the daytime, we put together 2 classes by 2 professionals within the belly dance industry who are people of color to give them greater visibility and work, because so often we dance without pay, which is very interesting. We're often asked, "Oh, can't you just come and dance? Can't you just put on a costume and dance?" And you'd be surprised, or perhaps you wouldn't be surprised, as artists, how much it costs to learn our craft, to costume ourselves, to stay up to date in things that are new, or to even travel for our events. One of the things that makes us unique is we pay all of our we pay all of our cast and crew. What else I can say about it, and the reason that I got into it, it's a very healthy pursuit. Weight control, fibroid tumors, blood pressure control, creating community and mental health. During the pandemic, I was teaching online. It's very good for the body, and also it gives us something to not only to look forward to, but a goal to attain. Meaning every time we put together a student performance, we have to practice, we have to memorize our parts, we have to come together, which is a very healthy way of living. I was going to say of doing things. It's a healthier way to live, because we become so, we become so, I'm trying to think of a better word, but we're so used to doing things alone, particularly since the pandemic. So we're trying to work together as a group once again. I will point out that West Harlem Development Corporation has funded us for the last 3 years. We're very grateful for that. Also, Lower Manhattan Cultural Council has funded us twice, as well as Indie Space. We're hoping to have our next Harlem Hafla, the date we're hoping for, have to sit down with Jared, but we're hoping for June 29th. That's a Saturday. We always do Harlem Hafla on a Saturday. We don't use the bleachers inside of Riverbank because we want the audience closer to the stage and the extenders. So we actually place chairs on the floor where the dancers sometimes come off the stage and come into the audience and dance with you. We just like being closer to the people than the bleachers would allow, and it allows people to move around as well. Our websites are www.sistersandsharkey.com. That's for the classes, and Harlem Hafla. But Harlem Hafla has its own website, part of the Sisters in Sharkey website, and that's www.harlemhafla. So HARLEM, HAFLA.com is our website. We hope you'll come and check us out. Are we able to share screens, Daria, or no?
Yes.
I want to see if this will work, if you don't mind. And I'll run through a few pictures. Here we go. See if we can get this to work. Choose this one and share. Are you able to see a man dancing?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, good. So we're very inclusive. I do want to point that out. And we actually look for women, men, all kinds of hair, all kinds of shapes, all kinds of ages. And that's Larry there. That's Kuzama. But like I said, we're very inclusive. So you're going to see Black people, Latino people, and you're going to see sizes and shapes and types of hair and all things that you may not expect to see when you think of belly dancers. So some of us are mothers, some of us are not mothers or dads, but we're very proud of being inclusive with what we do, with what it is we do. She's got Ifa now, that's Jackie, but what they do is very much belly dance. They just don't call it that, but it's the same thing. That's one of my teachers, Samra, in her 70s, still doing it. That was our MC, Ama. That is Layla Haddad of Tunisia, who came to be at one of our Harlem Haflas. That's one of our daytime classes. That is me on the floor dancing with the audience.
Wow.
Oh, thanks. That's Naima. She's going to be oh no, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Let me see this. There we go. Naima's going to be headlining for us this year. Yeah, I really like that costume. Okay, let me stop sharing. Yeah, so what the last thing I want to leave you with is belly dance is actually a misnomer. They don't call it belly dance, they call it Raqs el-Sharqi, which is just the dance of the people, or folkloric dance. Belly dance is one of the ways that Americans messed up the what it's supposed to mean and what it's supposed to do. And it's not what we call what we do, because sometimes belly's showing, sometimes it's not. And we dance with our feet and our legs more so than our belly. So in America, we just do things the way we want to. But we do hope to see a bigger audience. We usually cover about 100 to 150 one year. pandemic year, we got only 75. We want to see more people come and see what it is that we do, support our vendors, support our teachers, and just come be a part of what it is we do, even if for the exercise, if nothing else. You don't have to want to become a belly dancer to take a belly dance class. It's a lot of fun. That's why I got into it. And as African dancers say, you dance for life. You dance for the rest of your life. And I think I'll be doing this forever. I'm in my 50s, and I hope that I can inspire and encourage more people to come and do what we do. Jared, you have met me. You keep saying, oh, when I meet you, you have met me. I'm the one who came and told you the room was too cold. But you have come and helped me out at Riverbank before. He's a new face to me, but I've been doing belly dance there for years. And like I said, I just hope to see more of you there. And if you have any questions for me, I'm here. That's my
What day
presentation.
is the class? What day and time for the class?
Thursday night,
The
you said,
Riverbank,
by what time?
sure. The Riverbank class is Thursday, 6:30 to 8. And further uptown is Washington Heights. That's Tuesdays, 7 to 8. But focusing on Riverbank, Thursdays, 6:30 to 8 p.m.
Do you go to schools?
I'm sorry?
Do you go to schools to teach?
I
Do you go
have.
to schools?
I have, but usually as a one-day affair, not as because I teach. I work a day job. I'm a teacher. I'm an English teacher as well. So yeah, gotta pay the bills, have
Did
that
you put
medical
your
and dental.
info somewhere?
It's in the
I'm
chat.
sorry.
Okay, good. Nothing.
He was
I couldn't
asking
hear
for
the
your
question.
info. It's in the chat.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yes. Okay. Were there any more questions? Okay. Thank you very much, Brandy.
Thank you for
I keep
having me.
saying I'm coming. Now I have a partner in crime. So we coming for real.
Well, drop in. You don't have to commit, but drop in and give it a try. I hope to see you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is Janet Cohen here? Okay, you and Chin, Harlem One Stop. Is Ewan still here? Oh, yes, she's here. Ewan? are
Yeah,
you there?
yeah. It's been a long evening. I had to leave the office. I
It
just got
has.
here, so we can do, I had quickly put
Remote.
together a presentation. I don't know if you want me to zip
Sure.
through it or just go straight to what the reason for my being here. If I can share the screen, then you can tell me. I mean,
You can go right ahead.
mm. Okay. All right. So there's some new faces on the grid, so I'm not sure how many people knew about Harlem One Stop. It's we've been around since 2013, promoting the hold on, let me just get this. How do I get rid of so I can advance this? Hang on. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I'm just going to go through this very quickly. We were founded in 2013, but we've been a not-for-profit since 2016. And we've been promoting the cultural landscape, mostly in West Harlem since 2013, with collaborations and collaborative program being the core of what we do. Most people who know about us know us through our events and also the culture portal online, harlemonestop.org, and or from our events, usually public events, or in schools and churches, etc. Our focus is primarily tourism, preservation of historic preservation, as well as arts and culture, art services, bolstering the smaller and supporting the smaller organizations and that are generally owner, founder operated, and organizations that don't have an infrastructure. Not like it's not like we're so large that, you know, that we can manage a whole lot of smaller organizations, because we ourselves are very small and is run on mostly, you know, passion and commitment to the to Harlem overall and the improvement of life here for everyone in Harlem, and particularly in West Harlem. Our target area is generally between 110 and 162nd. So if you go on our website, the events that are promoted are usually Harlem and Lower Washington Heights. And a lot of the stuff that was talked about tonight, you know, with the Harlem Arts Alliance, we've been doing that since 2013. The programs that we've worked on over the years, the culture portal that I've just mentioned, we offer neighborhood tours, and we act as a support for the tourism market outside of Harlem. If someone wants to come to Harlem or know about Harlem, they generally call us for some guidance. So we're a destination marketing organization to the travel market out there. We generally do preservation conferences annually. We have one coming up on March 9th at City College. It's a collaboration with the Historic District Council and Harlem One Stop and the West Harlem Community Preservation Organization, which is the other civic organization that I run. We generally work with city agencies and partners like Department of Transportation. And over the years, we've done a lot of streetscapes projects with them and weekend walks. And now post-COVID, we're gearing up again to do open streets in Hamilton Heights. We've worked with the businesses, streetscape improvement. During the lockdown, we were continuous. It was probably the only website that still promoted collectively programming in Harlem, mostly the virtual at the time. So we've never stopped doing what we're doing, even through the pandemic. And then post-pandemic, we received an SBS grant, and working with the businesses and pairing the arts and culture with the local merchants, mostly restaurants, and and I see Jazzmobile is on. We've partnered with Jazzmobile and trying to put music in restaurants over. I think we did it twice over the last couple of years. We also facilitate a Harlem Cultural Collaborative, and which the focus is collaborative programming and a sharing of resources and supporting each other to bring more visitors to West Harlem, and also to be supportive, whether it's in marketing or providing resources, sharing of space, or sharing of talent. So we've been doing that since actually 2013 with our first grant from the West Harlem Development Corp, the first year that the organization was formed. We got a grant to support a tourism initiative and have continue to do so since 2013. We also act as a fiscal conduit for independent artists and arts educators who are not for profit, don't have a 501c3. So we act as a fiscal conduit for them, and also showcasing at our public street events emerging artists, visual as well as performing artists.
Ewan,
Yeah,
it's time. Can you wrap
okay.
it up?
All right, I'm almost finished. Some of the key events that we've done is the West Harlem Festival of Food in 2021. And then this year is going to be our third West Harlem Culture Crawl in partnership with our cultural partners, most cultural institutions and organizations. We've done an open house, and we also did a big celebration of the Harlem Renaissance in 2018 and 2019. And to get to the core of the reason why I'm here, we got funded from the West Harlem Development Corp to yeah. So it's partially funded by the West Harlem Development. Our programming this year is partially funded by the West Harlem Development Corp because it was a very small grant. We'll be doing the Harlem Culture Crawl on April 26th and 27th, and we're going to relaunch the West Harlem Arts and Jazz Fest. The last one we did was 2009, and in 2019. In 2020, we were just about to start that year when there was a lockdown. So we're going to start up again and activate St. Nicholas Park Plaza in partnership with the Friends of St. Nicholas Park, an organization that I used to lead many, many moons ago, and Johnny Hartman Plaza, and possibly to close Amsterdam Avenue Street, Amsterdam Avenue, the blocks between 142nd and 138. Also, we'll be doing the third Art in Windows on Amsterdam and Broadway. If you guys haven't seen the artwork, it's still up. The businesses have allowed us to go beyond the year as initially agreed, because they like the artwork. It enlivens the corridors and it brings them attention.
Ewan, I'm sorry, we're gonna have to call time.
Well, let me finish. I have two more to go. I've sat
But you're
through
gonna
the
have to
entire
just say
night
them
here,
very quickly,
listening to banter
please.
back and forth.
I
Okay, and as
understand,
well
but
as interesting
there's a time limit.
presentations. So let me
There's-
finish, Daria, please.
I understand. I'm
All
just
right.
asking you if you could just please
Yeah, I'm
wrap.
done. This is the last slide.
Thank you.
Anyway, so two things that we're going to be doing is we're going to start the open street in Hamilton Heights on 142nd Street as well. And then I had wanted to speak about the Arts and Culture District, a bill that is in Albany, but which is very important, but we've run out of time. So I will do that in at another time, or you guys, we will be having a meeting on Friday at 10 o'clock to talk about this bill and some other issues. I will send the meeting invite to anyone who is interested and want to learn more about it.
Please
Okay.
send that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Please send that information. Is it gonna be on Zoom?
No.
It's gonna be in person?
Oh, I thought you meant publicly.
meeting.
Yes, it will be a virtual meeting.
Okay, yeah, if you could, do you have the information? Can you put it in the chat?
I don't have
as
the
well?
information with me now because we're
Okay.
waiting on one guest to confirm and then.
Okay,
will
if you
be
could
sent.
share it
We
with
also have
others,
our
please.
Harlem Cultural Collaborative meeting, the first Tuesday of every month at 10 o'clock, and that's virtual. If anyone is interested in joining us, please send an email to info@harlemonestop.org.
Thank you. Sorry to rush you. We are to our last presentation, and that is Jazzmobile, Robin Bell Stevens.
Robin, are you there?
Robin? Yeah, she's on both of those, actually, that's her in both places. Robin? Robin, are you there?
Hi, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay, great. Great. I had it on phone as well as on screen. So I just turned the phone off because it was not working well that way. So first of all, thank you so much for letting me present. As you know, we are Jazzmobile and we will be celebrating our 60th anniversary starting in July. But I'm just going to give you a very quick overview, excuse me, a very quick overview of what it is we have been doing. And then I will very quickly tell you what it is we have coming up next. So can I share my screen?
Yes.
That was a question. Can I share the screen?
Yes.
I can't, can anyone hear me?
Yes.
Daria, can you hear me?
Yes.
This is very bizarre.
We can see you.
We see you and we hear you.
Daria?
Yes.
There she goes.
Can you hear us?
She's you. No, that's very good.
Okay, can you hear me now? Sorry.
We hear you and we see you.
Really having technical difficulties. I think it's been resolved. Okay, thank you. So let me just do this, bring this down so everyone can see. So Jazzmobile, I'll just keep talking while I adjust this. So Jazzmobile, as a lot of you know, was founded by Dr. Billy Taylor in 1964. So we'll be celebrating our 60th anniversary this coming July. And as everyone who knows Jazzmobile, all of our programs have been free and they continue to be free. So all of our core programs, which I'm going to briefly address in the next 3 minutes. Just a quick update on our residency. Some of you had heard, I'm sure that at one point we were going to be moving our offices into the Victoria Tower. We shifted out of there, but in terms of having office space, and we opted to stay in there as an arts organization in residence. So we will be making use of the beautiful 99 and 199 seat theaters, which I trust many of you have already had the opportunity to see. If not, I would say rush over there and see them. And the exquisite Marriott Renaissance Marriott Hotel is a wonderful space. And we're actually in conversation with doing some programming with them there is also. Our offices are moving into the National Urban League Empowerment Center, thanks to the generous support of the state elected officials, National Urban League, 100 Black Men of New York. And if all continues on schedule, we should be in there by this time next year. Quick overview of our free core programs. Saturday Jazz Workshop. That program has morphed over the years since its beginning around 1967, 68. And we're now doing a residency program with the Performing Arts High School. And here are just a few images from some of our students and classes. And I'm proud to say that a couple of years ago, our school that we were bringing the Saturday Jazz Workshop program into was the only Northeast high school chosen as a finalist in the Essentially Ellington Jazz National Jazz Competition. This program has expanded from being just on Saturdays. We now do several master classes during the weekdays so we can really focus and hone down and work more closely with the jazz band. And this past summer, we participated in a summer jazz camp. And this year, we're also providing special tutoring for students who are applying to university that specialize in music. Summerfest, that's a program that most people know about. It is from July to September this year. It used to be just July and August. For the past couple of years, we've included September, I would say by popular demand. Here's a quick look at some of the artists that performed for us in FY 24, but was actually this past summer of July, August, September 23. You might recognize some of these faces from the left. The amazing tap master, Omar Edwards, Jason Moran, Jeremy Pelt, Going Down, Arturo O'Farrell, Tammy.
Robin,
Yes.
I'm sorry, we're still on your the first page. It never, if you're showing more,
Oh, it's not moving.
slides when, yeah, it's not moving.
We can hear you clearly.
We hear you. So
Okay. Okay, let me just, all right, so let me see if I can is it moving now?
Yes.
Okay, you make it smaller. Okay. All right, so there's the office space, core programs, the students, and then here we are at Summerfest. So, okay, Omar Edwards, Jason Moran, Jeremy Pelt, Arturo O'Farrell, Tammy McCann, and a personal favorite, vocalist and saxophonist, Miss Camille Thurman. Okay, Jazzville Sessions, as some of you know, that's our newest core program, entering our third season this past September. We started, and the main venues for this program, as you can see, are the Interchurch Center and City College Center for the Arts. We started the winter session actually in January, this past January 10th, and we presented a 100th anniversary concert in honor of Mr. Max Roach, and it happened to fall on his actual birthday, which was January 10th, and we called that part 1. We're doing a part 2 during Summerfest of 2024, which we will be announcing in April. And you can see our sponsors are the Interchurch Center, who donates the space. West Harlem Development Corporation is our founding sponsor of Jazz on Bill Sessions. Joining them is Harlem Community Development Corporation and Con Edison. Coming up next week, it's Wallace Roney Jr. If you recognize the name, if you're into the jazz world, you know that his dad was Wallace Roney, a late great trumpet player as well, an educator and composer, and his mom was the incomparable pianist, Miss Jerry Allen, who again, composer, musician, as well as an educator. And then coming up on March 13th is the Allen Harris Quintet. And of course, all of these are second Wednesdays from 7 to 8:30 at the Interchurch Center. And again, this program is also free. We always recommend when we send the e-blast, if you think you want to come, you want to register quickly, because one of our programs got sold out, and I put that in quote because it is free, but all reservation spots were taken within 2 hours, but normally it's done within 3 or 4 days. So the March 13th tickets will become available starting on the 17th of February, and it's all on Eventbrite. And here's just a quick look at our supporters. As you can see, we have, there we go. As you can see, we have several of the organizations that you've mentioned, some people on the phone. And we've had a very long, rich history of support with organizations as Harlem One Stop, Harlem Stage, of course, Aaron Davis Hall. We also work very closely with our senior programs that we do in West Harlem, with Harlem Advocates for Seniors. Of course, you all know, many of you know, that's William Hamer, who's been a wonderful partner. And then we're expanding our Jazz on Bill sessions outside of just being at the Interchurch Center. We have done some at the Jazz Studies program at City College. We presented Craig Harris in a masterclass and a workshop, and we were focusing on the music of Sun Ra, followed by a concert. So we're going to be expanding upon that. And April, as a lot of you know, is a National Jazz, some of you may know, is National Jazz Appreciation Month. And April 23rd, save the date, we'll be presenting NEA Jazz Master Regina Carter, again in partnership with City College Center for the Arts. And this will be a Harlem premiere of a commissioned work that she's already premiered in Washington, D.C., Pittsburgh, and she also, but this is the premiere for Harlem. And the other thing I want to mention too, in terms of our partnerships and collaborations, we've back in the, I want to say over 20 years ago, so I'm going to say in the late 1990s, we started our partnership with what was then called Riverbank State Park, now the Denny Farrell Riverbank State Park. We presented family festivals as well as children's programming. We did special Halloween children's programming, which is absolutely a phenomenal program. We've done free concerts outdoors. We've done free concerts indoors and outdoors at the Denny Farrell Riverbank State Park. And when the Robert F. Smith Performing Arts Center opened, I believe it was on April 5th of 2019 or thereabouts, we were the first community organization to come in there with a major program. We came in there 2 weeks later, and we presented the Harlem premiere of Bobby Sanabria's multiverse bands, West Side Story Reimagined, with his 21-piece band, and we invited primarily seniors, but it was also open to anyone else who would like to come, and it was a weekday matinee, because we find our seniors kind of like matinees. That way they don't have to worry about moving back home in the evening hours, which we respect and understand. So we could continue to do those kind of programs. We're in conversation now to figure out what it is we want to do next. One of our partners, of course, is Harlem Arts Alliance, the New Heritage Theater. And we're doing several programs in collaboration with them, which is already on the books. And we're looking forward to doing those and continuing our longstanding relationship with the Denny Farrell Riverbank State Park. And then, as I mentioned at the top, we're turning 60 in July. So there'll be more for us to announce, and we're planning our announcement for the July season, as I say, in April, which is National Jazz Appreciation Month. And then Jazzmobile has the good fortune of turning 60 twice. So what does that mean? So we were founded as an institution in 1964. However, in 1965, that's when we started Summerfest. So we'll be celebrating in 2025, the 60th anniversary of Summerfest. So they're going to kind of run in together, but we've got lots of great things that are being planned. And as I say, we'll have more to announce in April. And as always, we're extremely grateful to the financial support and other support that we get from the West Harlem Development Corporation. And I thank you very much.
Robin, did you put your contact information?
Were there any questions? Any questions?
Yeah, I have it. I just put it in from Saturday.
Okay.
Robin, I do have a question. A few years back, I think you have it not just for the kids, but you had that Saturday workshop at the school on 111th Street. I was in the vocal workshop as well as the theory. So I understand it might be a funding issue that you weren't able to continue it, but it was really, you had some top-notch instructors there. It was really a great program. And I'm hoping that sometime in the future, you'll be funded to start that back up again. I'm the co-chair of the Senior Issues for Community Board 9. We're having our fair May 10th, a senior fair at the Forum. I would love for you to come to speak. There's a lot of seniors to be there as well. Most of them know about you anyway, just like myself.
Oh, terrific.
Great to see you.
Thank you for the invitation. I appreciate it. Was there a question in there, or was just a statement?
Oh,
and
yeah,
if it was a statement, thank you so much.
The jazz workshop on Saturdays that you used to have at 111th Street.
Right. So the Saturday Jazz Workshop program that we used to do at the Wadley School, right? I think that's what you're speaking of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the shorthand version of that is, as I said, all the Jazzmobile's programs are free, but the Saturday Jazz Workshop program, we did actually, and that was the first time we ever proactively put a fee onto it. And we found that not to be successful because people just didn't have the resources to support it. And the reason why we switched to that, and just to see if it would work, we get, again, we get donations. One of our lead donors at that time was really more interested in providing funding to support an arts education program for students. And they define students as K through university level, college level. And why they applauded the work that we were doing with what I was calling hobbyists, because most of them were hobbyists. And then there were some that were professional musicians who had day jobs, and as I like to say, were gigging on the weekends and wanted to find a way to keep up their chops. Since the day of going into a jazz club and being called on to sit in and learn how to play jazz were long gone. But unfortunately, so basically the funding was the issue. And if anyone has any leads on anyone who would like to fund a program for jazz performance students other than those that are in school, give them my number or give me their number and I will call them. But that said, as we look going to the future, we are already in conversations with a partner, an education partner, who sees value in the Saturday Jazz Workshop program that is for adults. So we are trying to see if we can make something happen there. But in the meantime, if anyone has any ideas for funders, we're open. Thank you.
Thank you,
Robin.
Sean Abreu has a program for that, doesn't he? Daria?
Yes.
Yeah, right?
I don't know. Sean Abreu, we did find out that the electives do have some funding.
Discretionary,
Yeah.
For adults also.
So
not-
that, I
Yeah.
think they talked about that at the Harlem Arts Alliance meeting.
Yeah, no, we do get some funding from elected officials, most notably, now both Inez Dickens has been extremely supportive. And as a matter of fact, that's how we got into the National Urban League Empowerment Center with Sue Inez. And then we've gotten a lot of support from Cordell Clear. She actually is a lead supporter of our John Coltrane Festival that we do in partnership with some other organizations as well.
Okay. Thank you, Robin.
You're welcome, thank you.
Okay, so that brings us to the end of our very long agenda. Was there any old business?
No.
New business, I do want to say this really quickly. As you know, cannabis is now legal in the state of New York. And in the summertime when I'm also on the cannabis task force, and we talked about possibly figuring out collaborations between arts and cannabis, because there's a long history of arts and cannabis. People feel all kinds of ways about it, I understand, but it's legal. And if anyone has any ideas, we do have a cannabis task force. Please reach out to me. It's something, I just want to get your brains moving, because we're going to get the conversation started very soon. And
have you been to the Cafe Mellow Gallery on Lennox Avenue?
I have not, but let's talk about it offline.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, now we only need a motion to adjourn.
So move.
I second.
And we are adjourned at 8:53 p.m. Thank you so much,
Thanks,
everyone.
everyone, for
Thank you.
Darren, can you save the chat?
I did.
All right.
Yes, I'll save it again.
So Gil is yelling on signal.
Great meeting, Daria, Tina, great meeting.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Bunch of great people on today.
That helps,
Not
yeah.
enough time. So many great people in so little time. Good night.
Good night. Thank you again.
Everybody.